2-6 win. Play for make breaks, one must always score. If it hurts, you ain't the breaks, no get you double it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win in. Press you again, we're here for the breaks made. Can't everybody keep there for 60 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
If you're not of the mindset going into this thing, anyone, anywhere, anytime, then you're just there to have a cup of coffee anyway. So this is a highly competitive group. We'll play where we play. We'll play who we play, and let's go put the ball down.
Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. We play for another. We fight for another. Every fight, every play, every round. Hey, Tennessee on 2. 1, 2. Tennessee. Ball that team ready. Ball that team ready. Ball that team ready.
Make the decision. You're either a Vol or you're not, through thick and thin.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not a that is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talking Vols that my guy Boogie Bentley runs. So shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Like, can we start the show like in a weird way? Like, Coach Jay, what are you doing? Like, are you
taking the note?
What are you taking notes on? Like in the back room, me and Coach Rice are like amped up. We're like yelling, screaming. We're talking about the portal. We're talking about EA Sports College Football 25. And you're like writing the whole time. Like, are you like, what are you taking notes on?
Just some personnel changes. That
like you're doing real work, right? Like
yeah. Well, both.
Okay.
I was doing some real work, and then I switched over to Talkin VAWLS work.
Where you make 6 figures and drive a Mercedes. All right, we'll start the show.
Exactly.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Coach Jay in the house. Coach Rice is here. We got all kinds of fun stuff to talk about. It is a fan call-in show. We're gonna get you guys on early tonight. I promise. We're gonna do things a little different. We got an opening topic that we're going to kind of just scratch the surface of. And then we're going to bring you guys on maybe a couple at a time. And we're going to go topic by topic. When you come on, you're getting a topic. You better be ready to go. And then we're going to kick you off. We're going to go to the next topic. And then the next two come on. And we're going to do that till we run out of topics. And then we'll open up the floodgates and we'll see what happens. Let's see who's in the chat. What are you guys up to tonight? Y'all were going nuts earlier. Let's roll back up here. Let's see what you guys were talking about. Where did it go? Where did it go? Zach says, oh, booger sugar. What's the word, my man? I feel like I've had some booger sugar tonight. Me and Coach Rice are full of, man, we're ready to go. We are, you can tell we ain't streamed in a minute. Me and Coach Rice ready to go. Visual Clip says, go big. Oh, appreciate your Visual Clips. Wayne's in the house. What's up, brother? Luke Thompson is here. Chuck Maines is here. What's going on, Chuck? Good to see you in the chat. Chef Toy RD is here. Luke Thompson for 5 says, I'm hearing that 35% of the fans will be Tennessee fans. Is this Tennessee takeover happening? Will Neyland North be a thing? We're going to get into that a little bit later. That's one of the topics that you guys are going to get a chance to come on and talk about. Dustin Young for 5 says, door fee. I love a good door fee. I love a good door fee. It's a tip on the way in, and so much so that I yelled at somebody in the comment. Imagine that, me yelling at somebody in the comment section because he said, oh, what's this rant? What are you yelling about door fees for? Tell me you don't listen to Talkin VAWLS without telling me you don't listen to Talkin VAWLS. You're not required to pay a dime. I said to the guy, I said, you didn't pay a door fee. You're not a member of the channel, but I'm responding to your comment. You don't have to pay for anything. And then I got a 14-paragraph rant about how I'm a jerk and I've changed, and YouTube has changed my personality. But Dustin Young drops his $5 door fee and says, National Limelight Game. All our stars will shine, and Rocky Top will be heard from coast to coast. Show them who we are. GBO. I don't know if you guys watch Bordeaux. He plays EA Sports College Football 25. Biggest freaking, like he's the biggest guy for NCAA 14 revamped, NCAA 13, now EA Sports College Football. Tennessee made it past Ohio State. They made it past Oregon, and then they lost to, of all teams, Clemson in the 3rd round. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys enjoy that or not. Eric B. Jones, been a member for 44 months. We appreciate you, brother. Ron the Don for 5 door fee. Let's go. Big Orange, we're 10-2 again within the last 3 seasons. Let's go, Vols. We are playing football again. We are relevant once more. GBO, Gregory C for 5. Cover charge, LFGBO. Thank you, Gregory. We appreciate it. Kevin Smith for 10. Ohio State is not prepared. Their fans are more stuck up than Georgia and Bama combined. Can't wait to kick their arse. Al Ming is here for 2. Door fee, it's game week, baby, in December. GBO. Coach Rice, is there anything you want to say to Culberson there? Anything you want?
I hope you're ready, brother. I hope you're ready.
Dude,
it's not gonna work.
It's go time for the EA Sports College Football Talkin VAWLS Dynasty. We are about to roll into the playoffs. We're about to roll into conference championships. Now's the time to join, man. There's a link in the description below for the Patreon. You can come be in the Dynasty. Coach Rice looking to go back-to-back. I've not lost a regular season game in 2 years. Culverson said, Boogie, you're App State. That doesn't count. Mark Wilson's been a member for 42 months. We appreciate you, brother. Says talking homework. GBO. John Watts for 5 says door fee. We appreciate you, John. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the door fees. We appreciate the generosity. Let's jump into the opening topic. We're just going to scratch the surface here because I want to open it up to you guys real quick. But let's open up the debate here about the transfer portal. And I'm throwing it to Coach Rice first because I think he's got more passion about this maybe. So what are your thoughts? The portal's been open almost a week. We got a couple of visits scheduled. We see some big-time prospects. I said it in my video this morning. You know, like some of the guys we've talked about recently, right? Barry and Brown. He's already chose a destination to LSU. Williams Winery, Nebraska. Micah Hudson trending to Texas A&M. So I sense frustration, Coach Rice.
Yeah, and it's not to the point where I'm mad at who we're targeting. I know we need interior D linemen, interior offensive linemen. Those are our priorities. Those are obviously our needs. And we need to target those first. And I told y'all at the beginning, I fully expect Heupel to get it done. But what I'm so frustrated about, and people were kind of misunderstanding way I was coming from, I'm frustrated because some of these guys, it's not like last year with the exit of the secondary. All of those guys were guys that had played a crap ton, and they all sucked. And so we said, we're going a different way. And so we brought new guys in. Well, this year you're seeing, and I kind of went back and forth with you a little bit too, Boogie. It's the offensive line and the wide receivers that are entering the portal the last couple of years that never had the opportunity. Yes, Chaz Nimrod has a little bit. Caleb Webb, I don't think really ever got a shot. I mean, yes, he got a little playing time here and there, but Chaz Nimrod, I think he got consistent enough time to where he could show. He's the one that I'm kind of throwing the asterisk on. I'm not talking about him, but the Caleb Webbs, the Nathan Leacocks, not really talking about Vice Lane, although I'm saying the development ain't there. This is what I'm talking about, the playing time and the development, being able to show what they can do during game time. Yes, you show what you can do in practice. That's a fine, dandy spot and all. But when I'm talking about the wide receivers, obviously you don't rotate that much on the offensive line. But the wide receivers, they're not – it's going to get to the point where these wide receivers are going to be scared to come to Tennessee out of high school because they're not – they've shown they're going to play like they're going to play the experienced seniority guys, and they're not going to give the bottom guys on the depth chart much of a chance. Even though they say they're going to have a rotation, they don't, unless because of injury. Of course, that's inevitable. But what I'm getting at with this is, why was Mike Matthews? If we're telling Chaz Nimrod to, and that's one of the leaves I'm picking up, that he needs to, find another place, go do him. Why was Mike Matthews not ahead of him the whole season? Like, why are we not why are we going through issues and guys that we had high thoughts of, Nathan Leacock, Caleb Webb, who when they came in, they were thought to be, guys that are going to be game changers for this program. Well, the last 3 years, we're going to get a wide receiver. We're going to get this wide receiver. And these guys never had the opportunity to go in game and show what they can actually do. And it just frustrates me because as a coach, I want to see my guys have the chance to go in the game, go show what they can do. But they never had that opportunity. And so we're over recruiting guys and they never get, and maybe it's a development thing. Maybe it is. And so is it bad coaching on that way, or is it bad evaluating? So either way, it's a poor side of the coaching. So that's something that I think we got to get fixed. And that's where I'm coming from, my frustration. It's not that I don't trust Coach Heupel to go out in the portal and get the needs we need to have the team ready for next year. That's not my point. My point is, whether it be the offensive line or the wide receiver room, we got to stop depending on the portal for these guys, or else it's going to catch up with us at one point. It may not be next year, but sooner or later you're going to miss in the portal because it happens. It just is what it is, and you can't rely on it. Like this year, who's going to say we're going to be able to go get a wide receiver? Maybe we don't need one, but I think the depth-wise,
I think we're going to need one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's to say we're going to
lost
be
4 to the
able to get
portal.
one?
You're losing 2 because of eligibility. I think you are going to need one.
I mean, that's my biggest point.
Coach Jay, you just geared up there with the energy drink. What time? Good Lord have mercy. It's almost bedtime, and you're geared up. The floor is yours. I got a lot I want to say with what Coach Rice just said. I just told you guys we're going to get you guys on early, and we're going to be 30 minutes in. I know it. I don't even know why I try. Coach Rice or Coach Jay, go ahead.
Number one, so I get Coach's Rice frustration to a degree, which is probably why we had our banter. I don't want to put this here, that I, as a coach, get mad when any player can't get developed.
Yeah.
Right. But what does frustrate me also is this false narrative that I believe is being spun, Coach Rice, about not development. I mean, let's just run through it. Cedric Tillman was a 2-star wide receiver.
Yeah.
Who was nothing and nobody. This staff made him who he was.
Jalen
Hyatt.
Coach Burns. That was Coach Burns versus Kelsey Pope.
It was his coaching staff, was it not?
It was.
Okay.
But
All right.
but
Type
this-
of
Let's let Coach Shay. Hold on. Let's
the
let
type
Coach
of
Shay talk.
offense
The
isn't
Because
enough.
I'm arguing he got one sentence out.
the evaluations is my key. I mean, yes, development, but evaluation. We have not, other than Squirrel White, have seen a single wide receiver that this coaching staff. I mean, granted, Mike Matthews is going to be, I think, going to be good. But
Gotcha.
this coaching staff
I'm
is
going to
all-
cover it.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle, so let Coach Shay
Okay.
talk because
All right, I got
I'm in the middle of you two. Like,
Okay.
honestly. So let Coach Shay
So
go and then we'll go.
Evaluations don't end at the high school level. Brew McCoy, I know you guys don't watch a ton of West Coast ball out there, but Coach Jay does. We always joke about talking Trojans, right? He was crap out here at USC, right? He didn't do anything here. That's a great evaluation that this staff did with Brew McCoy. But, once again, great development with him. Shoot, I think Brew would be really, really on point this year had he not had his injury last year. I think it took him a while to climb back from that. Valus Jones was relegated to special teams at USC. He didn't get to do hardly anything else when he was brought along. If we think about all the different development that happened with, Princeton Fan, I won't even get into the defense. Jacob Warren was lost in nowhere. I mean, I can go on and on with this offense, and including on the offensive line with Darnell Wright. I could even go as far as Coop, although I thought he played early in his career. I thought he was further developed. I thought it was Heupel's system that really allowed him to be the gas pedal of this offense and move it along. But, and obviously, people like Dylan Sampson, James Pierce. I mean, like I said, I don't want to get too much into defense. Thornton. I think Thornton's a great example too. Thornton coming from Oregon hadn't led up to any of his talent. Took us a little while to tinker with him, but if we want to use a common wide receiver, I think he's averaging more yards per catch than almost anyone in the country this year. Why? Coach Rice, it is really hard to evaluate a college athlete out of high school. You know above all others how hard it is to evaluate them because they're playing against non-college talent. And, sometimes I guess I just don't get this. And I brought it up in a comment to Seth the other day in the comments. There has been plenty of people who have been developed great on this team. I got a whole freaking list of them right here. Hendon Hooker, another one. Joe Milton, shoot, talk about development, right? But why is it never the player fell short? Why is it always we choose the one that didn't work out? That was a crap coaching job. Not the player couldn't hack it. Not Caleb Webb was Wake Forest ability. It was this coach couldn't hack it. I guess that's just my counterpoint. And I get it. I'm not saying like I don't. This isn't a carte blanche thing. Like I don't just totally think all this way and none of what you're saying either, Coach Rice. For me, it's a blend of this kind of thing. You know what I mean? I think this staff has taken upperclassmen and developed them late. Jerome Carvin. I mean, just starting to think of different names that we came in on. Yeah, they came in late. Yeah, we're going to have to rely on portal as have balance. But I also don't think we've gone so far as to the Old Miss side of things where almost 70% of our roster is portal too. So for me, the balance is still okay. But, maybe that's just me. Mike Matthews, he started off injured, right? It took him a while to get on. I'm going to give the coaches the benefit of the doubt there. The young offensive line coming up. I want to be careful, and I think all Vol fans should, to not make an argument from absence. Like something is wrong because I haven't seen it yet. I think that's really important also somewhere in here. Anyway, that's all I had. Just spitballing out loud, I guess.
But you guys, I think it's like most of the conversations when it's the three of us. We're all pretty dang close. and
Yeah.
what we
Oh,
think,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's what makes
Yeah.
good conversation. Let me hit super chats, and then when I come back and talk about a lot of this. Noah James for 2. There's no way anybody's coming on before the 30-minute mark. I don't even know why I try. I don't even know why I try. We're just gonna scratch the surface, boys. No, we're gonna be live for 2 hours. I'm sorry, Mrs. Boogie. Noah James, she is on this kick of she never drinks ever. She never drinks. But because it's Christmas, it's like there's all these Christmas cocktails. So she screen captures all of them. She's like, I want you to make this cocktail. So I'm channeling my inner GZ from the kitchen. And I'm like, watch this. I'm going to put this cocktail together. And so that's what I do. And so I told her, I was like, yeah, we're going live. I'll be up here. I'll make your cocktail for the night. She'll be asleep before I ever get upstairs. By the way, speaking of just going, look what I found. I was looking for a shot glass because, you know me, I drink bourbon. You don't need a shot glass. You just dump it in the glass. I was looking for a shot glass to mix. You see that name?
Thank you.
Lankiff.
This is
Mr.
a
Transfer
special.
Portal himself.
I was looking for a shot glass because we ain't sitting around here going shot. Like I was looking for I had a Tennessee shot glass. I was looking for it, and I found Old Lane here. Number 777 of 2000. First of all, 7 is my lucky number, but limited edition. Only 2,000 of these made. You would think, right? Because Lane Kiffin, he was here 1 year. You think this might be worth money? Like, you think it's worth money? Limited to 2,000? I don't even know where I got it. I mean, you would think
Google it.
I wonder if you went to eBay. I mean, he's got the Tennessee visor on. I mean, you would probably think this may be worth money, but let's read some super chats real quick. Noah James for 2 says the opponent is nameless and faceless. We appreciate you, Noah James. Jeff Clabo for 5 says Ohio State's third ball world order. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate that. Hondo T drops an orange spot. Oh, man, I love orange super chats because we get to play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Hondo, the old snake eater, says my ball is going to kick in the door of OSU and destroy them. Afghanistan 2024. Old snake eaters calling it now. My balls by 10. He dropped another 10 or another 5 and says Jackson Moore is going to take OSU's quarterback's head off. We're going to talk Ohio State in just a little bit. Their offensive line is banged up. I think that could play into our favor. Chandler Matthews drops the orange boy. We love it. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
He says, let's roll with the players who want to be Vols. The new normal is every team deals with the same thing. Low depth chart players think they're better than they are. Let's focus on what we have ahead of us. Go freaking Vols. There's some truth there. We appreciate you, Chandler. Thank you for the super chat. I just want to kind of talk about where I saw with Coach Rice is like Glenn Ellerby, right? He's had this veteran group for a long time. And somebody left a comment was like, oh, he's using Pruitt's players. No, he's not. He brought in Hurd from the portal. He brought in Carrick from the portal. He brought in John Campbell from the portal. Those are portal guys that are veteran guys. But you have to start to question Glenn Ellerby's development when you see these guys transferring out. And on the flip side of that, I see Coach Jay's argument. It's like, well, wait your turn, or maybe they're not as good as they thought, especially the offensive line. That is a tough position to evaluate. But wide receiver, like Coach Jay, I see your point of you're talking about Cedric Tillman, you're talking about Valus Jones. Both those guys were coached by Coach Burns, who is no longer here. Kelsey Pope steps in. He's a player's coach, right? Like they all flocked to him. They were all excited about him getting promoted from within. But he, like, you look at like Caleb Webb, that was a 4-star prospect. Never really got an opportunity. Nathan Laycock, a guy that, like, I mean, that's a top 75 guy. And like we were getting hyped because he was right up there. Like at one point, Carnell Tate was way up here and Nathan Laycock was way down here when we saw this happen. And it's like you're waiting for that development. And are these guys getting told to leave or are they leaving for playing time? Where did Caleb Webb end up? Wake Forest?
Yep.
Like that's what I've said is watch where these guys end up because I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. It's not always coaching and it's not always all on the player. Chaz Nimrod, for example, catch the freaking football. Catch the football.
And Nathan Laycock too. That's I went back and watched that. Not that I often go back and just rewatch my breakdowns, but I did go back and watch that one when he transferred. And I'll tell you, I forgot. He was new to that. He was new to wide receiver. And let's bring up 2 players. Let's maybe take 2 of them, right? Another player that was kind of new to his position, a little new to football. Arian Carter played running back, switched to linebacker his senior year. Nathan Laycock moved into wide receiver late his senior year. Yeah, they had extreme talent coming out of high school, but it was still new to them. And for whatever reason, sometimes two kids, same coaching staff, one gets coached up, one didn't make it.
But again, that's where I go to position coach. He got coached up by Coach Inge, right? Whereas that's my question lies with Glenn Ellerby and with Kelsey Pope. That's where I'm in agreement with Coach Rice here. And I'm not saying I'm ready to fire anybody or I'm in panic mode. I'm saying if this continues, then we have to question their evaluation and development. And I think those things maybe sometimes go hand in hand. And I ain't a coach. I don't know what you guys are looking at, what you're watching, and what it takes from a coaching perspective. Go ahead, Coach Rice.
Well, and then one thing, and just to Caleb Webb's defense, I mean, where is he going to go? Because I mean, all these big money, big name players, they have evidence out there. So that's the reason why you see him going to Wake Forest. I think it's great that he went somewhere that he's actually going to get a shot to actually show what he can do, when I don't think we ever gave him a proper opportunity here because we were too busy going to the portal, which, I mean, I get it. I want the best guys to be in the game, but that's what I'm talking about, evaluation development. And if he goes out to Wake Forest and, goes puts massive numbers, which I'm not saying he will, but he's at least going somewhere where I think he's not like going to Georgia where all these guys where, they're going for the big money guys that have that Eric Singleton type experience. And so that's where I give defense to guys like Caleb Webb or somewhere where they didn't get the opportunity here. So they're going somewhere. And like I said in the tweet the other day, they're going purely because of playing time. It's not because of money. I just, because they shouldn't be worried about money anyways because they ain't been productive. But it's not there. I mean, they also never had the opportunity.
But let me say this again too. Like when we talk about money, right? It's always, well, the player is seeking more money. It is more convoluted than we even realize. It's not always the player seeking money, and it's not always the coaching staff cutting a guy, right? It's you maybe you offer Caleb Webb a certain dollar amount because he's a 4-star recruit, or you offer, a guy because he's a top 75 player. You offer a certain amount of money to get them on campus, right? It's like, well, you're a top 75 guy, you're commanding this much money, so this is what we're offering you. They come in, and now as a coaching staff, as a collective, Spire Sports Group, you go, all right, we offered you $200,000. You were not performing at the level of getting paid $200,000. So this is what we're going to offer you. Now, instead of $200,000, we're going to offer you $100,000. That player says yes, or they say no, right? Like that's not getting processed out or getting told to leave. It's, you're not worth what we thought you were. It's like, okay, I'm drafting Heath Schuler in the first round for the New Orleans Saints or the Washington Redskins, and he gets hurt. And it's like, well, now 5 years later, you're not worth that.
Boogie, do you think so? And Coach, you could answer this too. So let's stay on that topic. So for me, in this offense, that comeback route's like always there, right? That little, you know what I mean?
Yeah, more
Coach,
that
yeah, right. And for me, whenever Webb and Nimrod would run it, and I didn't see the other kids that transferred out enough, I think, to make a fair evaluation on that.
Yeah.
But Nimrod and Webb, I can make one. They just didn't have that separation even on that play. They always had someone on their back when they came back. I could think of multiple Webb catches, for instance, where the ball had to throw high, and he would come down with it, make a nice catch and stuff. But if I'm Caleb Webb and all of a sudden I'm getting into the position where I'm going to be slotted into Brew McCoy's number 1 slot or Deontay Thornton's number 2 slot, and if I come to you, Coach Rice, and say I want Tennessee Volunteers wide receiver slot number 1 money, are you giving Caleb Webb Tennessee wide receiver number 1 money? Both of you, are you? I'm not.
No.
I don't think I'm giving him number 4 money.
I don't know that. Yes. Well, I was saying number 2 at his position. So number 4 overall. No, I don't think I am either. That's what I'm talking about. Like that's
yeah. No,
that's
I know.
the conversation just the conversation that people don't see, right? But Go ahead, Coach Rice.
I just don't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it was all plain. And it's like I said in the tweet the other day. Nimrod is the only one where I can say we're just we've seen enough. We're going to go a different route. I don't think how they could say that to Caleb Webb. I personally liked what I saw out of Caleb Webb the time he was on the field. I mean, I did. Now Nathan Laycock and
I did too.
Spillman, that's different. They really Spillman. Let's just be honest here. He was here because of his brother, and then Laycock.
100%.
I really don't know. Like, it's evaluating, and like I just think that was a poor evaluation on Three's part and our the coach's staff's part. If that didn't make sense, if that wasn't there. Now,
his issue at a high school, coach, if you recall, he was great with the ball in his hands, could high point the ball, but his route running was atrocious.
Because he is new to the game.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's just one of those things. Some people pick up route running, some people don't. That's a tough one, certainly. Yeah.
And again, I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
No,
You got to put if your evaluations are off or your development is off, that falls on one person, and that's Kelsey Pope. Period.
And last thing I'll say, the transfer portal. Who other than Dante Thornton, we didn't see until the end of the year. We didn't see Brazil actually start showing up. So,
but compare him to Thornton, though, right? Like it took Thornton a year too.
And that's what I'm saying. It took them a year. So we'll see. Next year will be the game changer for Brazil. But Brew and Valus, like Boogie said, came in under Cody Burns. It's a little bit different coaching staff then too. You had Golish there then.
I knew he was going to say Golish.
Well,
I knew it was like
I'm just
it
saying.
It's fair.
There
it's
is
fair.
different.
Yeah.
Jerry Mack was there. Like it was a different impact. And the same thing could be said for Cam Selden. I mean, new to the position, like evaluating. He had lots of injuries. That's unfortunate. But who's that on? Is that on Cam Selden or is it on?
Let me ask a simple question, Coach, because for me, I know the answer, but I want it.
Well, I know what you're.
Can you teach vision?
No, I mean I got you. No, I'm just.
But he also played primarily wide receiver in high school, right? That makes me think Cam Selden's a different story. Like the dude played quarterback, running back, wide receiver, primarily wide receiver in high school. We brought him in. Like so many of the comments and on VolQuest too. If Cam Selden had came in under Fulmer, he would have been a linebacker.
Yeah.
He would have been moved to linebacker immediately and probably would have been in the 2 deep because he would have been a stud. But it's like it's all right. We got to open this thing up. Bob's the only one in the back room, so it may be. I love it. I love this. Is I told you guys though. 32 minutes. We're 32 minutes into it. We're gonna get him in early. 32 minutes in. Bob's the only one in the back room.
The whole time.
Only one in the back room. I just put the link out. Talking Balls Elite. You guys get a topic. You get to hang out. Then I'm gonna kick you off. But if nobody comes in the back room, it's going to be Talking Balls and Bob. We're going to be Talking Balls. What about Bob? That's the name of the show. But let me catch up with Super Chats. Aaron for 5 says dropping 5 just because Boogie and the coaches looking fresh. Are we? I mean, I got this CM Punk.
I mean, my beard is looking good.
I'm saying I'm the voice of the voiceless. That's what we do around here. So shout out Aaron. Parker Maxwell becomes a member of the channel. Shout out Parker. We appreciate it. The Wise Man becomes a member of the channel. I think, has he not been a member? Maybe he hasn't. If you're not a member, fix that. Hit the join button. Keeps the lights on around here. We appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you guys. It's $1. It is $1. I got $1. You got $1. We would appreciate it. Thank you, the Wise Man. Sports Banner for been a member for 22 months. Love the new college football. I love the new look. College football has brought much more excitement. Just maybe limit players to one transfer. That's spot on. One transfer and another only with coaching change. Balls in the playoffs. All those good go balls. That's spot on. Like give them one free transfer, and then if it's a coaching change, give them put some stipulations here, right? Maybe put some stipulations in there that can make this work better.
In the winter window, I mean, I know it avoids all this crap that's going on right now. I know players want to get there in spring. Well, that's a penalty for having to transfer.
Thank you, Coach.
I've
been yelling about that.
Due to a spring window, and that's your penalty. You're going to be late getting to. I mean, that's where I think you can end all this crap, where players are leaving before bowls or before the play and leaving like poor old like Marshall, which I get it, their coach was done wrong.
But that's still ridiculous, man. You don't get to play in your bowl game because
25 players left.
Didn't they win their conference?
Yeah.
Poor Marshall, man.
Hold on, we got to get Bob on here. Aaron for another 5 says, smash that damn like. If a dog can do it, well, I can't. Vol Nation, let's go. And to hell with the suck eyes. Hondo T for another 5 says, Boogie, let's film me making a 1,000-yard shot on that Lane Kiffin. It's still intact. It's the head didn't fall off like I hoped it would. Raise money for charity. Serious. Appreciate you, Hondo T. All right, let's get Bob on here. Bob's out of prison. Look at Bob, man.
Woo! Hey, look at Bob.
Man,
halfway
Bob,
house.
Is that the halfway house? Are the boys in the room next door? You're like, guys, I got to stay
No,
sober.
This is all me. Can you hear me now?
You sound great. Sounds great. Looks great. I love it, Bob. It's going to be the boys and Bob because nobody else is coming in the back room. Nobody else is coming in. But just in case they do, Bob, here's your topics. You pick your topics. Early enrollees in the class of 25. Transfer portal. Now, let's not do transfer portal. Ohio State and us hijacking their tickets. Or Jarrett Garantano. You pick one. Pick a topic.
Oh, we're taking their tickets.
All right, you want to talk about tickets? All right, well, let's pull this up. Let's take a look at it. And this is funny. This was a tweet that I went and found. There's so many tweets out there about it. A leaked pre-sale code allowed rabid volunteer fans to swoop up tickets for the Ohio State-Tennessee game, leaving only resale tickets available at higher prices. Now, you want to have some fun, scroll down and take a look at some of the comments here. Like, wasn't it something extremely easy? I think it was OSU FB. I think that's what the pre-sale code was.
Yeah,
Here's Trey Wallace tweeting out, talking about the sales for the college football playoff games with SeatGeek. 42% of sales on SeatGeek coming out of the state of Tennessee. 22% from Ohio, and then Nico's family ate up 4% out of California. Maybe Coach Jay got a ticket or two.
We rolled
as
deep.
well. We roll on down here.
Here's the thing: is that they're talking about this. That's what's coming out of Tennessee. Well, I've already proven and said it multiple times. Tennessee is not just isolated to the state of Tennessee. I'm in Kentucky. And if I bought tickets, they'd come out of the state of Kentucky, not Tennessee. So you have to imagine there's actually a percentage that are coming from other states and even other countries who are coming to this game who are Tennessee fans. So we may have at least a 50-50 mix if all the numbers are coming out to be true.
Do you think it's really going to – do you guys think it's going to be 50-50? Like they gave Tennessee what, 3,000, 3,500, something like that?
I think it'll be about 65-35.
And which is probably what it'll end up being, but I'm just saying because there's going to be OSU, Tennessee. But even if you take 35% of a home field,
it changes.
Then
you give me 30,000 Vol fans. Yeah.
Then it becomes less of a road game and more of a semi-bowl atmosphere.
Yeah, more of a neutral field environment than it is a home field advantage.
All I know, I'm about this Bob headset mic right now. I mean, I can hear you plain as day, Bob.
All I know, Boogie, is Bob.
I'm finally on my laptop.
I love it.
Bob can drink because he's out of prison. This is amazing.
We got to win, guys. That's all I know. Swooping up my Rose Bowl tickets. Got to get the smoker out to the Rose Bowl. Beautiful, beautiful grass tailgate area in the foothills of Pasadena. Grill up some tri-tips.
That sounds good.
It'd be good.
If I had it left over, I'd come out there with you and I'd bring some tomahawk steaks with me. How's that?
There you go. Coach State's
bring some milk too.
I tell you what, the game changer for this, if we get 35%, like it emphasizes like where you look at what we did against LSU. Well, what was that in 22? That crowd was about 40 to 45% Tennessee. It was. What did we do that day?
Ran them out of their own stadium.
Yes. I mean, look at what, and then you look at South Carolina 2022. Their stadium was like they had their amount. So there's a game changer to it being closer to a neutral site than a full hostile road game like Georgia or somewhere like that, where we could communicate. Yeah, there's not as much changes that we have to do offensively and defensively. So I think it's a massive game changer. I know their AD has came out about it saying, and Coach Day came out in press conference saying, "God, we got to stop letting Tennessee fans swoop up these tickets and stuff."
Well, not only that,
yeah.
Well, not only that, there was also the AD and Dave both come out and says, Ohio State fans, quit selling your tickets to Tennessee fans, because the Ohio State fans are buying the tickets and then reselling them to Tennessee fans.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what that tells me? It tells me that there's some truth to this. It tells me that I think there may be a lot more orange in that stadium than there should be. Ron the Don, what's up, brother? Like, do you have any thoughts on this, or do you want to talk about something else?
No, what's going to happen is the Ohio State fans think that this is just the first game, we'll beat Tennessee. So rather than spend all my money and my wallet on this first game, I'll just wait till the next game. And that might not be the case. Tennessee might get in there and handle their business, and we'll be at the next game. And our fans,
Pasadena's expensive.
Our fans do travel.
Too bad Ohio State won't be going to Pasadena.
That's right.
But about the other topic, I only got 3 names I can say when it comes to players playing: Jay Cutler, Johnny Manziel, Tim Couch. All superior players, but they couldn't cut it at the next level. They hit it hard in college, but at the next level, they couldn't cut it. Now, what was their problem? What were their issues? Sometimes these players just want some playing time. They may not get it because you got other players who's in front of you that's playing even better. You cannot expect people out here or players out here on the field to play with the same amount of intensity or the same amount of knowledge as far as playing that you played when you had football skills out there. When I joined my league back in 2010, most of the players I got were old Tennessee players, old Vanderbilt players, and old TSU players. I had a conglomerate of people between Chattanooga, Knoxville, and way down in Memphis, where I'll have at least 200 or 300 people show up to play football, all former football players. The competition level on the field was fantastic. It was outrageous. It made me appreciate football again, so I'll go back home, start watching Tennessee again. But those people played just as hard as anybody else would play. But the thing is, they didn't make the cut. Whether it be for injuries and not having enough playing time, they just didn't make the cut. There's only so many football teams. And in college, let's face it, you come from high school, you're the best player on the field. You get to college, they're the best players on the field too from their college or high school. So the competition is going to be great. You got to get your chance to show, improve, perform on the field. If not, I'm sorry. I mean, what can you do? Go to another school and where you shine, you know?
Yeah, I think, Ron, it stop me if you disagree, or Bob too, but it seems to me like the way Brezel and Mike Matthews, started coming on at the end of the year, to me it seems pretty obvious who that X and Z wide receiver are about to be next year, with Squirrel in the slot. You think that's as simple as it was for Webb and for Nimrod? They looked at that and said, "No, I wanted that one position. I'm not going to have enough time the way Tennessee rotates people."
Yeah, I mean, because they're sophomores this year, wasn't they? Both of them.
No, juniors, I believe. Juniors.
Yeah, that would definitely be leading into it. They want to at least get 1 year where they're out front, and they knew that they weren't going to be there, so they're not going to get to the next level at the amount of work, their body of work to be able to turn in.
Yeah,
they probably wouldn't even get an invite to the combine. So
right. And Ron, do you think that's? What do you think? Like, do you think that we need better rotations for that reason to secure our second spot, or where are you at with that?
I don't know. I always think about Tom Brady and Edelman, and they had timing. And I mean, Nico had to do a little bit more developing, but when Tom Brady got on that field and he threw that ball, he knew Edelman was going to be there. And Edelman is not, he ain't no blazer where he's going to flash down the field and beat everybody. But he made the plays when he had to make the plays. He caught the ball when he was supposed to catch the ball. That has a lot to do with timing and trust. And sometimes if you don't get enough time out there, you got to take advantage of the time when you do get out there. You got to be able to catch the ball behind your back, between your legs, just to say, hey, man, look at me. When you throw in this ball, no matter what the situation would be, I'm going to make the play. I mean, if you got other people on the field who's just as good, man, you got to shine when it's your time to shine.
Well, here's the thing. If you look at the ones transferring out of Tennessee, like Nimrod and all, you see they're not going to, and I hate to use this term, but they're not going to premier teams. They're going to around second level teams. They're not going to the likes of Ohio State or Alabama where they've already got a solid roster in front of them. They're going to like Marshall or somebody like that where they can go in and make an immediate impact, and then they can rack up those yards. They can rack up those catches. They can put something to tape so they can get that invite to combine. And that way, when the combine's looking at it and the recruiters are looking for saying, okay, they left Tennessee because they weren't getting in time to show skills. Here they are. They're showing their skills. Let's give them a shot.
And let's look at Heupel's history, right? The guys that have transferred out. And I said this in the video I put out this morning. Christian Conyer transferred down to Coastal Carolina. Deshaun Rucker, USF. Elijah Herring. I know in real life he transferred to Memphis, but in the digital world, he transferred to App State. That dude is wrecking shop. Like he should be in the Heisman race. I'm telling you, he is the linebacker of the year in EA Sports College Football. But look, do you see a theme, though? Like this is just confirming what Bob said. Warren Burrell, a veteran dude, transfers to Georgia Tech. Brandon Turnage, Ole Miss. I don't even know how much he played this year. But, like, you look, Tyler Barron, you go through a full spring camp, and then you enter the portal again and end up at Miami. And, yeah, he put up some good numbers. Good for him. Gerald Mincey, we're Kentucky's daddy. Jack Luttrell, Arizona. Like, there's a theme here. Right. And that's why when we talk about the portal and we talk about the grand scheme of things, and that's why as much as like me and Coach Rice are on the same page when it comes to evaluation and development, I think it's fair to question, do I want to fire Coach Pope? Do I want to fire Glenn Ellerby? No, I think it's fair to say, hey, maybe we need to keep an eye on this. Are they failing to evaluate or develop? I think that is fair. But in the grand scheme of things, when it comes back to what Coach Jay said, this coaching staff as a whole, Josh Heupel's program, they've killed it in the portal. They have had way more success with the guys that they've brought in versus the guys that they've lost. So I think that is why, as we sit here and we're talking about spending money and we're seeing all these big names fly around and go here and go there, I'm not in panic mode because we did the same crap last year. We freaked out because all these names went in and Josh Heupel did what he needed to do.
Coach Rice, the thing is, you're taking all the wide receivers and you pour them in the pot called the wide receiver room and you're stirring it up. And as you say, iron sharpens iron. And then once you stop stirring, what cream comes to the top, that's what you keep. The rest of them, they see the writing on the wall. Let me out to drain so I can go find me a new spot to rise to the top at over here. That's all it is. I don't take anything away from these kids that are transferring out, especially when, now if Squirrel White was to say, I'm transferring out, I'd have a little concern. If Brew McCoy had another year and he says, I'm transferring out, I'd have concern. But we're not. We're keeping the cream. It's that second and third layer that's transferring out, and that's because they want to get that playing time. They want to go to the next level, and they see they're not going to get there in time with Tennessee. They're not leaving.
Which is college football. Yeah. It's college football in 2020.
And maybe crazy, but Coach
and
Rice,
that's what the transfer portal was made for.
Are you kind of so? Let me just pick a scab here. Like so. No, not at all. The problem with the wide receiver transfers.
Hold on a second.
Not Coach Rice.
All right, go ahead.
Stop.
Stop.
No, I was just going to say, is the issue for Coach Rice or the cause for some concern, and I got the development note, but beyond that, is the concern about the new ones, the Matthews, the Brazel, and Squirrel, or is the concern that the true freshmen are going to be the new 2s and 3s for you?
Well,
that's what I meant. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, is that, and you look at, I fully expect Mike Matthews to get his opportunity next year, but my thing is Caleb Webb never got his opportunity. I don't think he got a consistent shot to really show what he could do on game day situations. Now, like I said, it all goes back to practice, but what I'm fighting against here is that Kelsey Pope has brought in Squirrel White out of the recruiting classes, and then all the other guys. Squirrel White's the only one still here. That other than the freshmen that this year, Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley.
Mm-hmm.
I just there's a worry with me that the portal giveth and it taketh away, and sometimes you don't always hit in the portal. Like it's just if you're bringing in these mid-level guys, which we've had success with, I'm not taking that away from Coach Heupel, but you're not going to hit 100% of the time. And with the lack of depth that we got there, ahead of the freshmen that are coming in, that's got me worried. And so you take an injury to Mike Matthews, you take an injury to Chris Brazell next year, you're looking at playing 2 true freshmen in the ACC.
They're getting somebody in the portal. Somebody's coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I think they're getting 2.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Because it takes a year. It takes a year typically. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even on that, you have to look at this too. I mean, how the games play, how the scheme is. If we got Dylan Sampson back there killing it, it's going to be even less time or less opportunities for the wide receiver to get enough plays in. This is going to hit home runs every time because Dylan Sampson is killing it back there. I mean, and if we're going to be a run-first offense, that's even less plays for the wide receivers to get unless they're just busting wide open. It's not going to happen, So, and wide receivers, it is a special position because you're going to run or make your plays, 50 to 35% of the time, you might not even see the ball. Even if then, you might be run blocking. It is a crazy, and the best wide receivers always got a loose screw because they want the ball all the time, which is understandable. But they're not going to get it all the time. And we're a run-first offense. They just got to be ready to play and make plays when it comes available. It may not be so much available.
I also thought interesting. Go ahead.
Well, it was a good point Foul Ming made. Taking transfer receivers too long to learn the system. Is that because of the option routes and the how complex the offense is that these wide receivers and Nico have to be on the same page? They're trying to make a read based on what the defense. It's not like, okay, here's the play, cut and dry, go run this route. It's option routes. It's like you and Nico have to be on the same page. So, do Coach Jay, Coach Rice, y'all have thoughts on that?
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it took Dante Thornton a full year to get comfortable in the system. We didn't really see Brazell until the last 2 or 3 games in the year to get comfortable. Now, Velus Jones could be a asterisk there, but I also think he was a perfect fit with the slot, with the scheme we were using that year. I just think we used the slot a lot differently than we have since then. There's a lot that goes into this with the coaching scheme and how we've used our wide receivers, because you look at the first year, it was Cedric Tillman that dominated, and then the X receiver, and then the next year it was the slot, and then it's kind of been a mixed match. I mean, mismatch. The other 2 years there really ain't been that dominated position. So who is it? Like, I don't know. Is it the QB? Is it the chemistry between it all? And maybe Foul Ming's right. I mean, they're done with the timing routes and option routes that we do. There is timing routes sometimes on the outside, whether it in the RPO scheme, not in the full passing scheme, in the RPO scheme. that we have to get connected with, and those transfers, it's taking a little longer than what you would hope for.
And if it's chemistry,
go ahead, Bob.
It concerns me even more that we're losing 4 guys to the portal and we're losing Brew to eligibility, and Dante Thornton, you're losing 6 guys.
Go ahead, Bob, and then I'll go. Yeah.
Well, my quick thing here, and it's going to be real quick. That's why I give credit to Coach Heupel and the rest of the coaching staff, is they're not getting 1-year transfers in. They're not getting somebody that's coming in for their senior year and leaving. They got every transfer they've taken in has been either a 2 or 3 year left on in eligibility, so that they have that time to learn and see if they're going to fit. If not, they still got another year or 2 they can go somewhere else. And he's not.
Maybe we can't wait on it.
This is true, but at least he's looking at them and saying, "Hey, you're going to take some time to learn this, so we're going to have that time." That's where you're going to set in 2 or 3 deep. But hopefully you'll pick it up, and after this year, our seniors are gone, and you're going to move up, and then you're going to be in a 2 deep or even a starter.
Which goes back to maybe that's why Caleb Webb is on the way out the door, because he's a redshirt sophomore. Chaz Nimrod is on the way out the door because he's a redshirt sophomore. Coach Jay, you've been trying to jump in here for 10 minutes. Go ahead.
No, just a couple things. I thought Coach Rice brought up a good point on the option route. You know, it is pointed out sometimes that it's not a timing route. An option route's still a timing route. There's still a break at some point based on what the defense is doing, and then timing gets involved. And then also chemistry. Chemistry is huge. And that's not always dependent on one player being bad or this person's fault to that person's fault.
No.
Sometimes you just have better chemistry together. You know, sometimes you're Shaq and Kobe or Scotty and Pippen, but then sometimes,
or Boogie and the coaches.
Sometimes you're Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, and you have no chemistry. You know what I'm saying? Like there's that side to that symbiotic relationship as well that needs to be, you know, thought up. I do think that one of the reasons that we've seen our offensive interior linemen invited on visits early and our defensive guys invited early is because I think it's twofold. I think that, you know, yeah, we had a quicker jump on that because we've had more time to be out there evaluating people because we were looking from the jump way months and months in advance. But also, you would think this staff, who they bring in, I'm not saying they have to be a senior, I agree with Bob, but someone that is from a system where they run option routes, where they do this kind of thing, to pin them down. Wide receiver hasn't been a position where you've seen us necessarily drop a gigantic bag, although, you know, they could drop a good size bag. We'll see what they end up. But I do think they're spending a little extra time on evaluation to make sure they hit.
Let me catch up on Super Chats real quick. Matt Marr has been a member for 26 months. We appreciate you, brother. Traveling up with 2 Vol fans and 1 Ohio State fan. Leave them on the side of the road. That would be my advice. It's a 6.5-hour drive. Really hoping it's going to be a miserable ride home for him Sunday. I think you should kick him out and let him just walk. Let him walk. Dan Yoder for 10 just says, thanks. No, thank you, Dan. That's a $10 super chat. That is very generous. Good old Nate Pruitt's in the house, $10. Says, cover charge, Boogie. Sorry I'm late. Howdy, Coach Jay, Coach Rice. Howdy, Bob, Uncle Ron. God bless. And go Vols. We appreciate you, Nate, Dylan, Elam for 5. My personal opinion is that Pope may be playing favorites. We talked all preseason on rotating receivers, and we still have yet to see it like at UCF. We saw guys get playing time, but it was because of injury. So I agree with Dylan. We didn't see a true rotation there. Tyler Maxwell for 2. This university as a whole is in great shape. Orange emoji. Appreciate you, brother. Timothy McGee for 2. Or go back to a regular pro. Let's go wing T. Let's go wing T, brother. Let's go wing T. Let's get Miles Kitselman out there. We're
8th overall in total offense. The offense is
You're not allowed to say that, Coach Jay. We have to yell about the offense. The offense sucks and it's garbage and trash. But we do love Timothy. Happen for 10 says wide receiver talent leaving is concerning, but we've been consistently upgraded through the portal under hype. Not worried if anything. This year's offense style change proves he adapts to his players to win. GBO. Coach Rice brings up great points. I see his side. That's why I'm in the middle of these two guys. And I think they're close. They're very close in what they believe too.
Yeah.
But you got to. It's so generic, and I say it in every portal video I make. It's generic. You got to trust hype because he's not failed in the portal yet. Like he has been successful since arriving at Tennessee. That's why this 6 to 7 year rebuild, we've won 10 games in 2 out of the 4 years that Josh Heupel's been here because of the transfer portal. Like let's not get it twisted. He has been successful, so I think that's a big part of it. Ron the Don, you want to talk about incoming early enrollees? Do you want to talk about Jarrett Garantano, or do you want to talk about Ohio State?
Let's talk about Ohio State.
Damn it! I was hoping you would say Jarrett Garantano. Can we talk about Jarrett?
I'm sorry.
Let's knock it out real quick, and then we'll talk about Ohio State. Because everybody has been DMing me. They've been messaging me. They've been saying, Boogie, do you see Jarrett Garantano wants to go on podcast? He does want to go on Tennessee podcast. He does want to go on Tennessee YouTube channels. He doesn't want to come on ours. Why? Because for the fans, by the fans. Guess what? Fans roasted Jarrett Garantano. And that was the case here. Like, not me. Well, maybe a couple of times, but I was very forgiving of Jarrett Garantano. I try, like I've told this story on air. Everybody that's DM'd me, I've responded by saying, "Hey, Jarrett Garantano's aunt DM'd me on Facebook and said, hey, I just want you to know that I appreciate you being fair with Jarrett. You've always treated him like a human. You've never been over the top. You've always been kind. You've always been respectful. You gave your criticisms, but you treated him like a human, and for that, I am grateful." On the flip side, there were people that were on this channel. When you talk about for the fans, by the fans, he got destroyed on this channel. So I am responsible. That's why I yell at Coach Rice and say, Coach Rice, stop doing what you're doing. Get off Twitter, put the phone down, take a breath, because I am responsible for every single opinion that comes through this channel. That's just the reality. I'm responsible for it all. So you can see the tweet from Jarrett Garantano. He says, Tennessee Volunteers, I am willing to jump on any podcast or radio show this coming week. I love Tennessee, and I'm ready to get more involved. Let's roll through the comments, boys, because this is ego. This is egotistical Boogie. Well, you got Coach Rice in here saying Talkin VAWLS Pod is the place to be. We roll on down. Talkin VAWLS Pod. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. We got a couple of random people. All the imitators, all the fakes. There's a dude out there. Coach Jay, did you see my tweet last night?
I saw your tweet.
Which one?
Where I used poor social media discipline.
Oh,
very poor.
No, I didn't see it then. I don't think.
Deleted it today. I deleted it today.
Okay, then no.
I mean, let's be honest. There are people out there that are copy pasting the titles of my videos.
Oh. Yeah,
because they're desperate.
I think you sent me a screen.
They are desperate. I sent you those screenshots. They're desperate. It's like, I don't know how to run YouTube. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just going to copy paste Boogie's exact video titles and put them on my videos and hope that people watch. I use poor social media discipline. But if you go look at Jarrett Garantano's social media, everybody is tagging the real ones, Boogie Bentley or the Talkin VAWLS Pod, Boogie Bentley, Talkin VAWLS Pod, 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 Boogie Bentley, Talkin VAWLS Pod, Talkin VAWLS Pod. I'm here for it, Boogie Bentley. It's all us, boys. His comment section is 50% Talkin VAWLS and 50% imitators and clowns.
And you have not heard from him yet.
I've DM'd him, but if you go check out this tweet. Wait, is this the one? Nope, that's not the one. Let me find the tweet that I want. Let's see.
It was one of his most recent.
DMs are open. Oh, here it is. Unfortunately, social media was shoved in my face at Tennessee, so it's tough for me to say yes to media outlets that I remember said crazy things about me. Forgive, but never forget. Well, guess what? Then you better not do a single podcast, JG, because every single freaking person involved fandom, whether they're fans, media, they railed you. They destroyed you. So it is. Good luck finding a podcast that had your back, like the way that I had your back. So, and I'm not. Yeah, I am. I'm picking on JG. For everybody that's saying, is he coming on the channel? No, he's not. Does anybody else
have to say is Alabama quarterback sneak and Kentucky pick six game? I mean that those were the two. Like, don't get me wrong. I think in Heupel's system, I think he could have been really good, but at the same time, he had his, negatives, and those were so big, and Tennessee Vol Kingdom was going through some absolute hell then that it just got You know, it got nasty for JG, and
What?
he needs to accept it like it is. And if he says he wants to come on, he just better be ready. Every Tennessee Vol fan in Vol Nation said some nasty stuff about him.
But that's the
at some
difference.
point.
You come here, you're going to be up against it. You go to VolQuest or to Swain, you're going to be protected and you're going to be safe. That's why
That's
our
true.
channel is different. It's different because it is truly for the fans, by the fans, and nobody else can say that. Nobody else can say that. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if he's going to talk with the fans, no matter which podcast or YouTube channel he goes to, he's going to get roasted by everyone because they're all like me. I go to all of them. Like you watch all of them. Everybody that's in your podcast or on your channel right now is listening to at least one or two other places to get their information.
Well, where's the best one, Bob? Where's the best
It's
one?
right here at the Talkin
That's
VAWLS
what I'm
Network.
talking about. What I'm talking about.
It's the only one I subscribe to.
There you go.
But what I'm saying is he needs to man up. If he really wants to reach out to the Tennessee community again, he's going to have to take his lumps. He says you can never forget. Well, we're not going to forget either.
Mhm.
So may as well get it out in the open. Go ahead. There's not a person that's above the age of 15 that has not been in a fight with somebody. But what do you do after you get knocked down or you knock them down? You reach your hand out and pick yourself up, or they pick you up, or what have you, and you go on about your business. And that's what he needs to do. He needs to man up, stand up, take his looks, and say, "Hey, I did the best I could." As long as you're man enough to come up to us and offer it up, then we can get past it.
Like I wasn't even
Until
going to
he
rail
does,
him.
I
I
got
was
one
ready to
point.
bring him on and tell some stories, have some fun. Like he had a tweet talking about things he was excited about at Tennessee. This would have been the place to be, but he's going to go somewhere else. And because so many people asked me, I was like, all right, let's. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to talk about why. Like for a long time, he had the Talkin VAWLS Network account blocked, and I never did. Like, there's nothing out there. There's nothing out there where we railed him other than maybe a post game. That was 5 years ago. There was like 3,000 subscribers on this channel at that time. It's like you're the quarterback at Tennessee and you're watching a YouTube channel with 3,000 subscribers. Like that's a problem. That's a problem. All right, let's move on. Ron the Don said he wants to talk about Ohio.
He didn't give us VBS, but when we was headed to the clinic to get a cure, he didn't give us no cab money. But he like that. Anyways.
Ron the Don, you want to talk about Ohio State? This is how I can't call-in show. College football playoff. It's Ron the Don and Uncle Bob. Like that's it. But I'm here for it. Let's talk. We'll talk briefly about Ohio State, and then we'll tie a big fat bow on this fan call-in show. Like, how you feeling about Ohio State, Ron the Don?
I think that after listening to enough social media, the teams are kind of evenly matched. The teams kind of evenly matched. Well, we was talking about player development and what it takes for players to make it. Sometimes you have to be inspired to play. Ohio State, they're playing not to lose their coach. We're playing to have fun and show relevance again. A totally different animal. Totally different animal. When we go out there and play, win, lose, or draw, we've accomplished our goal for the year. Even though Natty's even better. We're supposed to do what we're supposed to do. Ohio State, they are drowning. They are struggling. They got cement britches and galoshes for shoes. If they don't win this game, Ohio State is going to burn. They're going to burn royally. And I don't know if they'll fire their coach, but those fans will be tore up from the floor up. So that's why it's fun. Ohio State, we're ready for you. Bring it on, bring it on. We're going to do our game. We're going to play what we're going to play. We're going to run Dylan Sampson. We're going to bust a couple of long stretches on y'all down the field. It's going to be an exciting day. And if we don't lose, if we don't win, we wasn't going to win anyways. But I think we're all going to win.
You know what's crazy? Like so many of the experts, like Josh Pate, like JD Piquel, all these people are saying, "Oh, I'm taking Ohio State," but Tennessee could be the sleeper that wins it all. Like they're all saying the same. Like they're scared to pick Tennessee to win it all, but they all think Tennessee can win it all. It's kind of funny because Ron, you talking about like they lost to Michigan and their fan base is ready to run Ryan Day out of town. I had an Ohio State fan comment on, it may have been the last live stream we did, maybe last Wednesday, and they were like, "You got it all wrong. We're not ready to run Ryan Day out of town." Yeah, he's won 3 11-win seasons in a row, and then goes on to write 2 paragraphs telling me why Ryan Day sucks, and if he loses to Tennessee, they want to run him out of town. I'm like, thanks for the 3 paragraphs confirming everything that we said. Everything that we said.
All I say, you just gotta bust him in the tops earlier, man. We can get up on a couple of touchdowns. This game over. they will call a cheerleader. That's what I'm saying.
Brought up the very thing I was going to bring up was J.D. Pickell. He's, he could tell he wants to pick Tennessee. He really does. He's like, don't sleep on them. He says, because Tennessee has the talent, and we all know that we have the talent in that locker room at every position. And I just hope that Ohio State comes in there with the headspace that they've been trying to project over the last week, saying, "Oh, this is gonna be an easy game. We're gonna wipe the floor with them." I saw somewhere, I think it was actually on JD's show. He showed where they were like, their offense was ranked 30th or something in just about every one of the categories, and our defense across the line from them ranked in the top 5 in every one of the categories, and they think that they're going to outscore us.
No, it's when you look at it on paper, Bob, it's very interesting because it's very similar. Like their offense, 17th in scoring offense, Tennessee's 8th. Total offense, they're 36th, Tennessee's 8th. But when you go to defense, they're elite. They're elite. Number 1 in scoring defense, total defense, 2nd in passing defense, 7th in rushing defense. Their defense is legit. The biggest thing for me,
I'm not taking anything away from their defense, but they're not giving any credit to our offense either, especially our ground game.
No, I think that's we gotta dance with the one that brought us, right? Run the football, play good defense. I think, and I'll let the coaches chime in. Don't bury the lead because we're gonna have the video coming out on Friday afternoon with the keys to the game, all that type of stuff. But Tim Banks better be freaking aggressive. Let Coach Jay go first because it's defense. He better be aggressive. If he's not, we lose this football game.
Yeah. Listen, your horses have had time to go back in the barn, get reshoed, get brushed, get bathed, go on a couple trots around the track. I thought this defense got a little winded at the end of the season in spots. I thought they showed a little wear and tear. So I thought it was a great time for them to be able to take a breath. So it should be perfect for us to come out there and be flying around. And there's multiple ways we can be aggressive without bearing the lead too much, Boogie. Yeah, I expect pressure, and I expect it in many different ways to be deployed, whether it be through blitzing or passive pressure and stunts and things like this, delayed safety or cornerback blitzes. We need to set traps. We need to take care of the football. I think for me, taking care of the football is going to be a huge key to this game. When you watch a lot of the Ohio State football games, they win taking the ball away or forcing a mistake, whether it be a botched punt by Indiana or a forced fumble late or a safety interception or something like this. They're able to flip games with mistakes. They're very good at capitalizing off other teams' mistakes. We need to run a tight ship. Like I said, I'll get into it more from a schematic standpoint. I know Coach Rice and I have both probably been watching an ungodly amount of film already, so we'll save that for it. But just on the outset, that's kind of my early thoughts is fast, aggressive, but we got to take care of the football.
Yeah, by the way, schedule the rest of the week. No morning show tomorrow. Tuesday night, EA Sports College Football. You guys know the deal. Come hang out. We'll have a good time. Wednesday night, Talkin VAWLS Live. Friday morning, me and Coach Jay will be doing the morning show as always. And then game day, we'll do the tailgate show an hour before kickoff. We'll be live immediately following the game. Kaner is going to join us on Wednesday night. So we'll do 30 minutes with Kaner. Then we'll get the boys on. We'll have our regular Wednesday night stream. And then again, me and Coach Jay will go live on Friday morning. Bleed Orange for 5 says, what's up, Boogie? Coach Jay, Coach Rice. Ron, the Don, Bob, and the Colt. Feels weird not getting on today. Just got off the lake with the family. GBO beat OSU. Appreciate you, Bleed Orange. Let me again, and don't bury the lead, Coach Rice, and then we're going to wrap it up with this. But offensively, I saw somebody say you better win offensively. Do you run Nico? Do you act like there's no tomorrow? Run the football,
Oh, you got
open up his legs and let him cook.
You got to, and you have to, because like you said, Ohio State's defense, this is to be the best set of defensive backs we played all year. Best set of linebackers we played all year, and probably the best edge players we played all year. Their interior D-line is not super stout, but their edge, their linebacker, and their secondary are all – that's the reason why they got the number one defense in the nation. And they got the top pass or second pass defense in the nation. They're really good. You got to win first down. I mean, at point blank, you got to win first down, and that I know that's like a key. But Vol Nation, if we don't win first down, we'll be in some trouble. We got to stay in good situations with this offense and put Nico in comfortable situations because they will bring pressure. We got to stay in those comfortable situations. We got to make some plays, and we got to be patient. I mean, point blank, we got to be patient. It's going to be a 7-round fight. It's going to go all 7 rounds. I mean, you're going to be ready for some bloody noses and, all the ground and pound. This is big boy football that's going to happen next Saturday or this Saturday. And whoever ends up being the most physical team, whoever plays the cleanest, and whoever plays for a full 60 minutes, I think you look at what this offense can do against teams. It creates advantages for us, obviously, in the run game. You got to be patient with it, but trust it. Let Dylan Sampson and company cook, and then let Nico go make plays when given the opportunity. So, point blank, we got to take care of what we have done all year, and that's be physical, run the ball, and trust that defense. And at the end of the day, we'll see what the scoreboard says.
Dance with the one that brung you. That's what I go back to. Like,
what
don't
what
expect anything
you're saying,
else.
Coach Rice? You mean to tell me that if us as Tennessee Vols, the worst game we had this year, we scored 14.
Yeah.
The worst game on Ohio State had this year, how much did they score? 10 against a heavyweight champion called the Michigan Wolverines, who are currently 10-0, right? No, they 10, they 12. No, they 8. What is Michigan's record?
5.
I don't know.
Or 6-6.
All right, now so that's what I'm talking about.
Like
At our worst game, we scored 14.
By the way, something I loved, somebody on VolQuest.
Yeah. Like, there's no doubt in my mind we could win this game 14-10. Like, that's the type of game.
You just don't want to have to. I get that.
You don't want to have to.
Hell no.
Somebody on VolQuest was asking, what will this coaching staff do? Well, and Brent Hubb said
28 points. I feel
they're going to lean on Brian Jean-Marie. There are going to be phone conversations had with Brian Jean-Marie and what they did to beat Ohio State. We got another super chat here, $5 from J-Ball. Says, just like the basketball team did yesterday, Tennessee needs to weather the storm at the beginning of the game. The crowd and players will be hyped up. I tried to watch that basketball game last night. Even though I used poor social media discipline, I used some good social media discipline. I was watching the game, had the Christmas tree all lit up, having a good time. Tennessee sucked. I turned it off. They won. You're welcome. That's going to do it for this one. Make sure you guys tune in this week, Tuesday night, EA Sports College Football 25. We'll be talking all kinds of fun stuff. Come if you've never hung out on a Tuesday night, come hang out. It'll be a good time. I promise you. Wednesday night, Eric Kane, and also Talkin VAWLS live. We're going live at 7 o'clock. Friday morning, 10 a.m. with Coach Jay, and then Saturday an hour before kickoff and immediately following the game. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. That link's in the description. If you are in the chat right now and you don't have a power T beside your name, I am disappointed in you. You can fix it by hitting the join button. It's $1. $1. That's all it takes is $1. We would appreciate your support. Think about hitting that join button. All the links are in the description. That's going to do it for this one. I will say I'm disappointed in you guys. The college football playoff is here. It's a fan call-in show. I had all great plans. And Bob and Uncle Ron, they're the diehards. Where's everybody else at? Where y'all at? I will forgive you for now. For Coach Jay, for Coach Rice, for Ron the Don, for Bob, my name is Boogie Bentley. This It's the Talkin Balls Network. Go Big Orange.
Go Big Orange.
That we call